In this video, we're looking at three Power Query techniques, which all solve problems by removing some element of the automatically generated M code, which means we don't have to write the code ourselves, we just have to know which element to remove so that it solves our problem. So if you're ready, let's get started. If you want to work along with this video, then follow the links in the video description box below to download the example files. For our first example, we have two CSV files. The first file has 5 columns, but the second file has 7 columns. So what happens with a CSV file if we have a varying number of columns? Let's go and find out. Here in Excel, I'll go to Data, Get Data, From File and From Text/CSV. I'm now going to select example 1A and click Import. This will then give us a preview of our data. As you can see, we have 5 columns. I'll click Transform Data. This will now load the full Power Query editor, and we have our 5 columns. Now, what happens if I go back to my source and change it so that it references file 1B? When we commit that, it still returns the 5 columns, but there's 7 columns in this file. So what we need to do is to delete part of the automatically generated code. Now this one is reasonably easy to spot. We can see here, columns 5. If we now delete that element, when that commits, it now returns all of the columns inside our CSV file. Now what happens if we had too many columns? For example, let's suggest we had columns equals 7. Now that would work for this scenario. If we now go back to example file 1A, that then returns our 5 columns and then the 5 blank columns. So the best option here is to remove the columns argument entirely if you don't know how many columns you will have inside your CSV file. In our second example, we're looking at the scenario where the worksheet in our workbook doesn't have a consistent name. So this could cause us problems if we're connecting to an individual workbook, but also all of the workbooks in a folder. So let's go and take a look. Here in Excel, I'll go to Get Data, From File and From Excel Workbook. We want to connect to example 2A and I'll click Import. As before, we get a preview. It tells us that we have one worksheet called June 26. I'll select that. We get the preview of the data and then I'll click Transform Data. This now loads the Power Query editor. So what happens if our worksheet isn't called June 26? If we look in Source, there's the name of our file, and then in Navigation we have June 26 hard-coded. Then I'll come to Source, and let's change it to Workbook 2B. When I commit that, you'll notice we don't have a sheet called June 26. It's called Sheet 1. So when we come to Navigation, that now creates an error, which then goes through the rest of our query. So how can we resolve this issue? Well, we have our workbook, and our workbook contains a single sheet. Therefore, when we have our navigation, what our navigation is doing is that it's looking for a kind, which is sheet, and is also looking for an item called June 26. Now this is known as the lookup operator, and it only works if we have a single value returned. We do have a single value returned. That means we can just filter on the kind. We don't need to be explicit about the name of the sheet. So when we remove that and commit that, it gives us the correct value. So our source references our workbook. We only have one sheet. We then filter down to that sheet, which means that our query no longer breaks. So let's change this back to example A, and when we commit that, once again, there are no issues. So if we have a workbook that contains just one worksheet, we can simply remove the naming of that worksheet from the hard-coded values. I just want to interrupt things here to tell you about a new free course that we've just released called Modern Excel Reporting with Filter. It goes deep into the filter function, helping you to understand the concepts, logic and techniques that make filter one of the most valuable functions in modern Excel. So if you want to sign up for this free course, then just follow the links in the video description box below. For our final example, we're going to look at how we can transform all of the columns in a table, but without referencing any column names at all. Here in Excel, I'll go to, from the data ribbon, get data, from file and from Excel workbook. We want example 3A. I'll then click import. As before, this will connect to our workbook. I want sheet 1. We can see a preview of our data. And then I'll click Transform Data. When this loads, you'll notice that we have line breaks inside our values. But we don't want line breaks inside these values. What we want to do is to clean all of these columns. But we've got a challenge. So I'm going to delete the previous change type step. And now let's clean our columns. So I will select all of them. Then I'll go to the Transform ribbon, and under Format, I'll click Clean. So that has removed all of the line breaks. But you'll notice, if you look in the formula bar, that it has not just hard-coded all of our column names, but also what we want to do with each of those columns and the data type. But the truth is that we can apply this transformation to the entire table without referencing any columns. The transformation that we want to apply is text clean. So I'm going to press Ctrl+C to copy that text. Now the thing about table.transform columns is that it has an optional fourth argument. So I'm going to remove any reference to our individual columns. That means we're not referencing any columns. But then when we come to the fourth argument, you'll notice it's default transformation. This is what we want to do to all of the columns which are referenced inside our list. We haven't referenced anything inside our list, therefore it will be applied to all of those columns by default. I'll paste in that transformation, and when we commit that, it now keeps that text.clean function across all of our columns. Let's change our source. Let's change from 3A to 3B. 3B has an additional column. So when we commit that, you'll see that it has also cleaned column 5, which wasn't previously in our dataset. So if we want to apply a transformation to all of the columns inside our table, using the table.transform columns function, we can remove all the references to those columns and then use the transformation as that fourth default option. And that's it. That's 3 Power Query scenarios that we've solved, not by adding more code, but by removing elements from the automatically generated code. Can you think of any others? If you can, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.